So you might have some patterns, like us all humans have patterns that you want to get rid of because they don't serve you anymore, because all patterns come from past. That's it, period. All patterns come from past, and those patterns are somehow a part of your integrity and identity. And as soon as you see the triggers or the check marks that the conscious mind is looking for, like when you're dating, especially if you're a girl, even men, smart men, you have a checklist, and you'll go for a date only when that checklist is met. And once you have that checklist, that pattern comes out. Now, another reason that pattern may come out is when you're emotionally graduating, maturing, and your subconscious mind now believes that you're ready to handle that thought, that self-identity, maybe that association of self-identity, I should say. You are able to handle that and not get overwhelmed, because back in the time you would get overwhelmed with it, and you would either do or indulge in coping mechanisms, or you would just feel like shit. And basically that mechanism keeps on happening till you resolve that wrong and inappropriate self-identification, and causing you to associate yourself with a behavior, and you to associate yourself with the result, and calling that result as something you deserve, which you did not, because you are not your behavior. Our whole social system says a man is, look at a man's action to see who he is. That's not true. Because a lot of our actions, 80% of our actions, are ran by the reptilian brain, the reptilian system of our brain. That's an unconscious brain. It's unconscious because there's no direct contact and relationship between external reality and internal reality. All that you perceive, all reality that you feel as reality, is actually an internal representation of external reality. Because of that gap, there looks like an unconscious mind, but there is no such thing as an unconscious mind. There's only unconscious processes. Now, so when you are in those states, and let's say you want to quit alcohol, or let's say you want to quit smoking, the initiation of that change begins first when you recognize this pattern. Second, now you start looking for alternatives. What could you replace? What could you do? Third, well, this should be first one, by the way. Third, and the most powerful one, you identify yourself as someone who doesn't do that. I don't drink alcohol anymore. I used to drink from 9 a.m. actually first thing in the morning to last thing in the night. So I used to be highly drunk and hammered all the time, and that was because I had intense trauma in my life, in my childhood. So then I quit for 17 years, and during those 17 years I didn't even touch alcohol. And then when I realized, you know what, I can handle myself now, every now and then, like maybe once in 2 weeks, maybe once in a month sometimes, I would go out and have a couple beers. Now, during those 17 years, my identity was that I developed. Literally, I convinced my mind over it. My identity was that that basically I dislike the smell of alcohol. I dislike it so much, as soon as I smell it, I start feeling like I want to throw up. And I remember sitting myself with a drink of whiskey in my hand and smelling it, going, ew, I hate it. And even though I did not actually hate it, but I was pretending it. And once you start pretending something, the change begins to happen. However, it did take me some time. It did take me a lot of screw-ups to come to that conclusion that that's it, I'm a non-drinker. I don't drink anymore, and I hate the smell of it even. And that's what got me I shouldn't say last 17 years, because after 17 years, once I was a VIP at a show, a boxing show, and I was sitting with Stephen Molitor. I don't know if you know Stephen Molitor, the Golden Kid. and our famous boxing champ. I was sitting around on table with Stephen Molitor and Tawina Koom. Tawina Koom is, I think, 7 times boxing champion, national, and she's doing some great work now too. So anyways, and they were drinking, and I was sitting with my wife, and I think Stephen Molitor got me a drink or something like that. I don't remember exactly. There was a glass of wine in front of me, and my wife goes, "It's okay. That's okay. You're good now." And I started drinking. And after that, I would have a drink, occasionally. And at that point, I was convinced that I am that guy who's mature enough to have only 2 drinks. So it's all about identity. How can you reframe your identity so you can remain around 150 pounds? Just saying, just a number. So that you can say, get smokes in your hand and go, ew. And mind it, all you have to do is pretend it. And if you can pretend it long enough, you can expect it to have it as your reality. And for those who want to really fast track that change, who want that change now, reach out to me and I can help you out. I would love to help you out. For the most part, our changes begin to happen within first conversation. Really, within first conversation. And 1 to 3 sessions, you can literally, truly expect to turn your patterns around and be that who you really want to be, because you deserve it, isn't it? Get in touch. Talk to you soon. Stay blessed.